Hi everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we are working on the dryer. Our dryer has suddenly decided it doesn't want to go. Take a listen. No buzz, no start. But there's power to the control panel. So I wanted to see, I just heard another noise. Is it going or doing anything on any of the settings? Nothing, but it's still getting power to that control board. So the first thing we're going to do is unplug the dryer. Now this could be several things going on. It could be, I don't hear the motor turning or anything like that, that the belt is off. It could be one of the thermostats. There's a high limit thermostat and a temperature thermostat. There's a heating element, which I don't think would cause a problem with this. Or it could be the actual motor of the dryer. So we're going to do a little bit of investigating. Now, something to tell you or anybody working on your dryer, please protect your dryer surface. I see in home appliance repair videos all the time, somebody putting tools directly on the top of appliances that they're working on. Now, I've had this particular dryer for probably 12 years. It's had some different repairs done to it, and with a little bit of work and maintenance, it's always worked fine. I don't want to have a big ugly scratch on it from doing something stupid. So one of the first things you want to do is make sure you don't have clothes in your dryer. Now this dryer has a vent, clean out, or screen right here in the front. Now if these don't get cleaned out regularly, or you get a lot of lint and dirt down in there, every time you pull this out you lose some of that. So I have another video, a couple other videos on cleaning out your lint and inside areas of your dryer to prevent fire. This is a regular yearly maintenance that you can get when you have a warranty or the extended warranty. This is a service call thing that I was taught by a female appliance repair person that used to work for Sears many years ago, and we've just been doing this. It's been enough time that we need to go ahead and do this annual maintenance anyway. So we're starting by taking this out. And then if you have the different type of dryer, it's up here built into the top part of your dryer. Now this one, it's right down here. You got to spring the springs. It's kind of a two-handed job. Got a little 6-year-old helper here. Can you pull on that right there, one mommy prize? Thanks, George. There you go, pull. Too tight. I'm using a drywall putty. They're a little skinnier than using a screwdriver. So what you're going after there is this little spring. It's just a spring-loaded clamp. You're pushing on this part and pushing it down. My drywall putty knife was a little too soft. So you can see we have a good amount of dust and lint in here. So we're going to clean this all out, and then we're going to start taking off this cover. This cover is covering your blower wheel. This is the blower wheel housing right in here, and some dirt and lint can get collected in there. When this gets too excessive, that's where people get into trouble with dryer fires. And you can see this is something I do regularly, but this is a basement, regular, cement block and poured wall basement. So it's not as bad as what some of them are, but this is quite dirty for us. We're going to remove this screw here. There's usually another one here, and generally there's one or two in this area. They can be removed with a simple nut driver. You don't really want to do that with like a set of pliers, because you'll get a lot of slippage. And I believe this is 6mm. I have this nut driver set that came with a toolbox set, and this is just the nut driver that is on this particular unit, and it always works. It's my go-to tool for working on appliances. So see, just real simple, take that out, hang on to them. What they basically are machine screws. similar to a self-tapping screw. And if you lose one in your dryer, you're gonna have to find it and get it out. You're gonna hear it rattling around in that blower housing, or have to replace it later anyway. So mine actually only had 3 screws, here, here, and over here. Just let that slide down, pull it up out of your way, and this is the inside of that. So it has a good amount of dirt and dust in there, not terrible. If you ever have the situation where your if you ever have a situation where your basement gets wet, this is where people start to have trouble. So that is all the lint that's not coming up out of the upper part of the dryer on this vent or falling down in there. This is why it's important to get that out of there. And this is why it's important to always have a working smoke alarm in or near your laundry room to make sure that none of this is going to give you trouble later. This has a foam gasket right around this whole vent housing. So you want to make sure that you get that clean for reassembly. Remember, you see I'm not wearing gloves. These are stamped metal, aluminum pieces and steel. You don't want to slice open your finger. Now, in our case, I'm just collecting what I can by hand. But you can see, like right here, I don't know what that is. Just a chunk of lint. Any of that lint starts backfeeding into here, and that's what starts filling up in people's dryer vents that go to the outside of the house. So that's another clean out that you can do and have your house totally clear for that dryer to work properly. If a dryer's not vented properly, it's also not going to dry properly. But just to show you, I mean, look what I'm just getting out by hand, how much is accumulated in here. And we don't use the dryer all that much. We do a lot of line drying. So inside and outside at our home, we have clotheslines. This is a clothesline made of 2x4s and framing that my husband put in so that we could dry clothes. It comes in really handy in that energy savings. For us, it's just something that we like to do all the time. George wants to say hi to everybody. He was showing you his watch just a second ago. Let me turn this camera on and show you one of the tools that I'm using. So I've got a couple different sizes of these, cone-shaped and round, and I got these for doing appliance repairs. I used to do a lot of it with us having rental properties, and you're going to want to get yourself a flashlight, and that's where the helpers kind of come in hand with this if you don't have a stationary work light. But run that in there and try to loosen that up, and then you can use your vacuum attachment. If you have a shop vac, that is great to get in there and loosen up some of this. You want to get anything excess in that cabinet out of there as possible. All the different components of a dryer work together, and having a backlog of lint and dust inside of it can actually trip that high limit thermostat, making your dryer overheat. It tells it to shut down and not run again until that has been replaced. It's not something that can be reset. So we're doing the maintenance clean out of this. We'll be able to spin the tub and see if we have a broken belt or not. By looking up underneath, I can see I've got some lint on one of my rollers right here. And we have long hair in our house. I can feel a lot of hair wrapped up in that too. So we may actually have to take this bolt off to free some of that and see what's going on. So I just want to show you, right here are your thermostats for your dryer. And there's 2 of them interchangeable. One is your safety high limit thermostat. I forget what the secondary one is called. And this is your heating element inside of this box. Ours is electric, like I said. So ours is electric, like I said, and it hooks up right in here. If you have no heat, a lot of times this is your problem. And That's not the case for us. We often do use the dryer on no heat just to tumble the clothes to make them softer. But I wanted to show you this. This hunk of lint, you can see, is scorched. It was on top of that casing. It's enclosed there. It was sitting on top, so that gets so hot that it was actually scorching this lint, and that's what causes a dryer fire. Now remember, this is a regular routine maintenance for me. I've been a little delayed, but like I said, we don't use it as much as what some people would. It's definitely some maintenance that needs to be done in every household. So we're pretty well cleaned out here, and everything is moving freely. It's not got a broken belt. You can see the belt there to the tensioner. Everything looks good there. The only way to really know if that motor is blown is to go ahead. For me, I mean, you can bench test things. On Amazon, you can get these 2 fuses together in a kit, anywhere from $5 to $10. I can have that here at the house delivered within a couple of days. I'm going to go ahead and put in an order for these. Your part number is right on it. FSP is factory certified parts. That's usually what they're all marked. Very universal. And sometimes they even sell these at Lowe's. So I may check my local Lowe's, but I'll probably just go ahead and get these swapped out and get them ordering. The part number itself is on the dryer, on the actual fuse, or you can actually punch in this model number right here on like Sears Parts Direct, other different appliance repair videos, and get that part number for your model number and get it coming. Now remember to keep in mind any blockage, any excess lint is going to be a problem. So make sure you clean this out and check your gasket seal here. And like I said, this is very similar to the gasket seal for winterizing your house. So if need be, if you have problems with this, by all means, get a roll of that. It is probably of 1/4 of an inch wide. Same goes for here. And then there's some right here going around the top so that it gets a good heat seal, protecting all of these heat components in there. So just keep that in mind. I've used my scrub brush and I'm just keeping at it, loosening up everything in there that's like crusted on that I can, because you don't want to put it back together dirty and blow a brand new thermostat out. Now I know some people would say, just scrap it, it's 12 years old. Don't you want to go get yourself a new high capacity front load washer and dryer set? No, I don't, because they are less owner friendly as far as maintenance and repairs, and they are more disposable. The motors and transmissions in these standard units are much stronger. Now, like my washing machine, my old washing machine had a stronger transmission than the new one. It had the agitator that actually had to work and things like that. I'm gonna go back to an agitator washer because that stem in the middle, it just seems like it agitates and cleans the clothes so much better. I don't like the high efficiency stuff. We've got a large family of 7, and we have to do generally 1 to 2 loads of laundry daily just to keep things maintained and level without getting backed up. So that being said, I got to get some things washed. We're going to have some good enough weather to do the bedding and the towels and dry them outside tomorrow. Otherwise, we're going to the laundromat. High limit thermostat, temperature sensor. And then right on there. That's where your part number is. Let's see if I can focus that. Of course not. Looks like I got 3392519. And the temperature sensor says 8577274. So we'll replace them both at the same time, as long as we're in here. So after doing a little bit of homework, I looked it up. This is the temperature sensor, which I don't think it's too common for this one to go bad, but you can see it did get very dirty. It's totally sealed, but you can see this black center there. The actual plug ends are in good shape. There's no black or corrosion there. Same on here, nothing like that. This is actually the thermal fuse. It's not the high limit thermostat. The high limit thermostat is usually in on another style of dryer in the back section, and it's basically sensing the temperature coming out of that heat element. On this particular dryer, it's right back in there. You see that little black, it's that little black knob right up there. I'm having problems with my battery. Here we go. So there's two of them. One's to 80 degrees and the other one is the like backup of that. I forget exactly what it's called. I have to look at my notes. But actually on Amazon you get a kit of 3 of the fuses for $14. So I went ahead and put an order in to get those. We're gonna have to go ahead and get those out, and I'm guessing because of that charred lint that I had on top, that could be our problem. The wires all look good, nice and clean. No problems there with the wires. Everything looks good and clean. So we'll just take those out. So I continued to do more cabinet clean out of the inside of my dryer. And I just wanted to show you, these are the fuses for the thermal cutoff that come in the cutoff kit that I ordered. And this one looked really good. This one actually had burnt lint on the part that is on the inside, right there around that collar. So it may have got excessively heated. Remember that lint that I showed you before that I pulled off of the top of this heating element box? Well, this whole unit sits in there and holds the heating element box like this, so you can't see inside of there without taking that out. There's simply a screw here and another screw up here, nut driver screw, and I took those out. It's my flashlight battery finally gave out. I wanted to see inside where that heating element is, so I was able to take my bristle brush and actually see burnt lint inside of there. So I think what was actually starting, there wasn't a lot of lint in there, but I think I actually had a small dryer fire going with a little bit of lint and hair that had gotten caught up on the inside of the dryer. So your lint trap can only work as good as you maintain it. Like I said, we've got 7 people in our house, and I have a teenage boy helping me with laundry regularly. So lint can get down in there. We're going to up our maintenance schedule and mark this on the calendar to check again in another 3 to 6 months, just as a preventative because of the amount of laundry that we do. So I think that was our culprit. Well, for $14, it's a whole lot money savings to go ahead and do these repairs and maintenance issues on your own rather than replace that dryer, because a new dryer of this quality, this is a Kenmore 800 made by Whirlpool, is probably around the $800 range at this point. So our new parts have arrived, and this kit came with 4 different thermostats. And I will tell you that I took 4 thermostats or sensors out, and you can test each one of these with the probes on one of these meters. Now we always prefer these analog meters to digital because it can actually show you a weakness, kind of thing better. These are a lot more simple. for us to use with a lot more settings. Now that being said, I'm not saying go out and buy something that you don't already have, but you can pick up small versions of these at any big box store, Harbor Freight, and they're usually under $10. So we can test each one of these on ohms, OHMS, and see if all of them went bad, if one shorted out another, and replace only what's needed and reserve our good parts for another time, or just remove the good working parts and label them for future use. Now, you know, do what's best for you, but you don't have to replace every single one. So we're going to go ahead and test these out. And if you test your new first, that can tell you. There's different information online that will tell you what this is supposed to read as or test as working or not working. So I went through and I tested each of these and each of these, and this sensor is the only one that wasn't reading, and this one was called the thermal fuse. So if I can show you, they make these with clips also. See, I've got both prongs there. I've got nothing going on here. If I take that same part over here, get those prongs on there. This is not an easy to do one-handed demonstration. There you go, see? Good. So we're gonna swap out that one part and save the rest. Okay, so we're all reassembled and all cleaned out. I just got that thermal fuse right there, your temperature sensor back in. I put in all my good tested thermostats right there, and we can close this up, plug it in, try it out. I actually decided I didn't want to go through a whole bunch of reassembly. I've only got 3 more screws basically and the cover to put back on here. So let's go ahead and give her a try. Oh yeah. Before, I got nothing. Normally when that fuse goes bad, I said before, you'd get a buzz or something. So now I can get back to my laundry. A thing to keep in mind about doing some of this is, had I found our tester before I started, we've got other repairs going on, and sometimes my tools and his tools get carried off. Sometimes they get carried off to other houses and garages. So having not had this on hand to test things or have the comparison to test, I could have spent $4. I spent $14, and that was with shipping. I had to wait 3 days for the part to come. That's, I mean, spending an extra $10 is nothing compared to having a visit, because they're not going to come to your house for probably less than $75 10 years ago, which is what got me into these appliance videos in the first place, is having rental properties, getting calls late at night, you know, different things where we had to go and get a dryer going or get a washing machine going for a family because they didn't want to be down and out. They're paying rent for the appliances and we had to get them going. Like I said, we're a family of 7. We both do repairs in the house, and the appliances are primarily my job. So I hope this helps you. There is a lot of information on the internet that can get you your parts, get your appliances running. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, to, tag it as an earmark so you can come back later on to finish it. Little recommendation, take pictures, take videos of yourself doing it so that you know which cords and wires go where, what screws. And like I said, those little machine screws, they're real easy to lose. I lost one. I had to pull one out of something else. It just happens because it sits here for days. Thanks for watching, everybody. Buy us a cup of coffee, hit that little tip button to PayPal. We're happy to take it. See you next time. Bye-bye.